Welcome to Capital Conquest, the podcast, where we take an in-depth look at the influencers who have made and continue to make Capital Conquest the extraordinary martial arts event that it is. My name is Scott Campsell, and today Hanshi John Therien and I wrap up our podcast series as we count down the days before Capital Conquest. The theme has been consistent over these past few months. After years of being told that martial arts is non-essential, we are coming back to prove how essential they actually are. We are more than just people doing an activity. We are a family of like-minded people who love and support each other as we grow our abilities and strengths. We are getting back to where we once belonged. We are getting back to Capital Conquest. Here we are, our final episode of Capital Conquest podcast for 2022, and we're going to wrap it up. Hanshi John Therien and I are here. Hanshi, is there anything that you can say after all of the episodes we've done? Is there anything that you would like to add?
We've talked about a lot of great things. We talked to teachers. We talked to Terry Lynn, who's the admin. There are so many things that are happening at Capital Conquest this year. It's unbelievable. Because think about it. Capital Conquest 2022 is 3 years in the making. We have been shut down because of COVID, and now we are coming back. It was like a ship, a big ship that's starting to sail, and it's going slow, and now it's catching the wind in their sail, and it's just flying. It's going like you would not believe. I also had the opportunity to find a lot of great teachers that we saw on World Martial Arts Live that are coming to teach at Capital Conquest. We saw some people that need to be rejuvenated for everything in martial arts. And what we want to do this year, our mission is simple. It's that we want to give another shot or a coat, a final coat saying that martial arts is back. The schools are open. Everybody is training. We are back and we're here to stay. The pandemic, the COVID, whatever it is, will always be there for a while. We've adapted to it, but now it's time to get back. And after the weekend, everybody will be, this is my goal, to energize everybody to go back training and to bring a friend back to dojo and into martial arts. I know that a lot of advanced students got in, but the middle belts, we sort of got lost a little bit, and a lot of them are coming in. So if I'm the teacher of a school and I've got 20, 30 students that I have not seen back because of COVID, I would call them and I would say, remember Capital Conquest. Remember how great that was. It's November 4, 5, and 6. Jump in my car. I've got space and I've got seats for 3 people to come with me. I'm going to bring you there. Come and train for 1 day or for the weekend. Come and smell the energy and meet the friends that you saw before. It's the time to go back and bring back the people to where they belong. And the new people, because we're going to have I'm expecting a lot of new white, yellow, orange belt people that have never been to Capital Conquest. I think it's time for them to show up, and they will be over the moon from what we're going to show and finding the instructor. But at the end of the day, is to find the Budo spirit, where people are nice and people are sharing what they know in martial arts, and then they might try a different martial arts from weapons, different weapons training, from karate to jiu-jitsu to taekwondo to kickboxing to kung fu. We have some of the incredible masters teaching, and the middle range of very, very, very good teacher. And for me, when I say middle range, is 5, 6, 7 dans. These guys are solid and strong and fantastic, but they get to train with some people that are 8, 9, and 10 dan. And they get to watch them teach, so they learn something from that. But the big, big thing this year is to give the final coat. It's for every school owner or every serious martial artist to call a friend and say, you haven't been at the dojo. We've been back for a year or 6 months. Come to Capital Conquest. Let's have a road trip. Let's have a great time. Let's go on a social party after the training. Let's all get there and come and see the Kabuto Mania show. And I think we could re-energize or generate them back to the dojo. That would be, for me, a godsend. That would be the best thing we've ever done at Capital Conquest.
As the event is shaping up, is there anything that's starting to surprise you a little bit? Like, I know we were talking about, you were saying this was going to be a big event, but when we first started talking about the podcast, I think we said we had 7 countries that were involved. Now you're talking 15. Is it taking off? Is it going bigger than you thought it was going to be?
It's going bigger than I thought in many ways. We have 15 countries that are now coming. But what I've done too, for the same reason as we want to bring people back into the dojos, is we're offering free 16 classes at Capital Conquest, free on Zoom, to all the countries that cannot come here from around the world. So we're going to have anywhere between 5,000 and 10,000 people training at Capital Conquest. Some are mostly on Zoom, digital classes, but then from the live classes. So that's something that I did not expect at the beginning. We've sent out the invitation to the World Kabuto schools around the world and many other associations, and the response are very good. We have to understand that Capital Conquest is branded. Capital Conquest is the martial arts event to attend. And for people to drive in for 5-6 hours, we think it's far. Some people fly here in 12 hours to come to Capital Conquest, and it costs a lot of money for flights and hotels and whatnot. So now we are going to be reaching a lot more people that will be coming to Capital Conquest. So to me, that's a big, big bonus for the martial arts. I knew that it's either going to flop or it's going to fly, but it's flying because the people are tired of the lockdowns. They're tired of just staying at home. They have a chance and an opportunity to come out. If you go to a restaurant now, you better make reservations because restaurants are full. And if you start to travel and you start to get a flight, you'll realize that airports are busy and things are getting back to normal. Well, our normal in martial arts is to train, and it's to meet similar people, like-minded individuals, wearing a gi and doing martial arts technique. Capital Conquest is offering that in almost every martial arts discipline available. And we have the Hall of Fame on the Saturday night. We're honoring the best Canadians that were pioneers or champions that deserves to be there. Well, that's been sold out, 620 people attending dinner. The Friday night, now I've got to talk to you about Friday. What an opening day. A lot of people are starting to arrive, mostly from Europe or South in the United States, and they arrive on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And on Friday morning, around 11:30, we're about 30 Europeans, and we're all going to lunch together. That's a great welcome. Then at the Palais des Congrès at 6 o'clock, it's the meet and greet. The meet and greet starts this way. From 6 to 6:30, of course, we're all going to be there. It'll be a chance to renew. Imagine, Scott, how many people you have not seen in 3 years. They're going to be there. And they come to the meet and greet. Well, there's the, wow, how are you? How's things? How's so-and-so and whatnot? We haven't put our gi on yet. And we are already feeling the Budo spirit. From 6 to 6:30 will be a photo op with 3 world kickboxing champions, Jean-Yves Thériault, Daryl Hannigan, and Ben Ladouceur. From 6:30 to 7 o'clock, we have a free taiko drumming concert in that same hall, which is in the hall where we normally have the dinner. So that's going to be full. Then at 7:30, for those who want to attend the Iceman Kickboxing Gala, everything starts at 7:30, and that will go till about 9:30. After that, local people go home. The people from out of town, we've got 3 hotels full of people. There's hundreds and hundreds of rooms. So people are going to go back, I guess, to their rooms or stay at the Palais des Congrès and mingle with all their friends and everything. Now, the next morning, on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, there's a team kata championship. And it's 5 people on the team. There's 8 teams. And I love traditional kata. And after that, we start the classes at noon till 4 o'clock. And we're going to be running this year. I think we will need to have 25 to 30 different training areas at the same time. Imagine a room with 30 different dojos working at the same time. The electricity in that room is going to be so high and so good. It's going to be unbelievable. Then at 4 o'clock, we're done. People go out for a bite to eat. Some go to the Canadian Black Belt Hall of Fame dinner. And at 8:30, we have the Kabuto Mania show. The Kabuto Mania show is going to be full. And this year, we have between 10 and 15 countries that will participate. There's going to be a live demonstration on stage. Then we have a screen that's 9 feet by 14 feet wide. And they're going to show a demo coming from Germany. Then one more live on stage demo, and then one more video of a demo coming from France, and then one live, and then another country, and so on. So we're going to get a big international show with great sound and lights and special effects and whatnot. And now Saturday night, 10 o'clock or so, 10:30, we're done. Well, again, we're done, but we're not finished. We go back to our respected hotel, or we stick around and we mingle with the people we love and the people we have not seen yet. There's going to be a lot of people. You can't see them all on opening night. You're going to have to spread the love a little bit. And then Sunday morning, 10 o'clock, we're going to resume classes until 2. And at 2 o'clock is closing ceremony. It's the graduation of some people, because there's black belt exam during the weekend. There's black belt exam that has been happening for weeks before Capital Conquest, and this is where the graduate will receive their certificates and their belts. And after that, it's the goodbye, everybody, and everybody's going home, and everybody is pumped. Everybody wants to train. And that friend that you called to come and spend the weekend with you will resume training. 9 out of 10 will go and stay and get back to the dojo. So school owners, work the phone with your people that you have not seen for a while. Bring them on a road trip, and I guarantee they're going to be back. We don't want to lose anybody. People that have trained with you for a year or 2 or 3, the pandemic slowed them down. Let's bring them back. That's the mission of Capital Conquest.
What I think is also amazing is I was talking with my wife, and we realized that the time change is happening the same weekend. So not only have you got all of this amazing sound system and everything for the Kabuto Mania show, you've got the Hall of Fame, you've even figured out how to make it last an hour longer.
Hey, leave it to me, but that was actually my wife's doing.
Oh, okay.
So she said, I need an extra hour. I said, well, you fix it. And she did.
Mind blown. Mind blown.
So we're good. And also, we have this year, people are signing up online at capitalconquest.org. And that's the best thing to do. It'll save you time at the door. It's a secured site. You can pay with your credit card. It's easy. And if you do it that way, it's fine. If not, you can register at the door on the day of the event. You can pay by credit card, yes, or e-transfer, or you can pay by cash, which is faster. You just come in, this, boom. Then you will be issued your bracelet for the weekend, which identifies if you're there for 1 day or 2 days, and the tickets for Kabuto Mania show or the other tickets that you would have purchased. And the merchandising this year it's on the website now at capitalconquest.org. You can pre-order now, put in the size, pay for it, and when you get the Capital Conquest, you just pick it up. It'll be in a bag just with your name on it, and it's there, and it's beautiful things. There's not a lot of it, but there's 100 T-shirt and some jackets. There's some hoodies. There's some long sleeve T-shirts. It's very, very nice quality stuff, so people can do that ahead of time. And we have new instructors. Those that are familiar with Capital Conquest, you're going to see some new faces that are teaching. Some are coming from different countries. When you see them, just remember that if you're teaching at Capital Conquest, you got to be good. And if we bring in new people every year, because they have something different to teach. If we bring everybody that teaches Goshen-Do and we have 10 people teaching Goshen-Do, it's Goshen-Do. But if we have Goshen-Do and a variation of it, it's good. But then we have a different Chinese martial art instructor. Then we have a different world champion teaching something. So the weekend is going to be, it's going to be full, and it's going to be so fast that we are going to have to put some speed bump in certain things because we want to absorb everything.
Let's talk about that instructor roster. So normally as a person who's, I'll say veteran, and I use air quotes, to Capital Conquest, I like to go to Hanshi Saeed's mat. I like to train with Hanshi Burkowski. I train with him regularly, but I still enjoy what he brings to Capital Conquest. There are certain people, Jean-Yves Theriot, obviously, and anybody else we've interviewed, to be honest, that I would go when I would get on their mat. You are saying there are new instructors that are going to be here. Is there anybody that sort of stands out where you say, this is definitely somebody should get on their mat?
Well, you can get on anybody's mat. It's going to be good. So what I'm going to tell you is I'm going to talk to you about a different style of some people that are teaching. Then it depends on what you want to do. There's going to be, like, for example, Billy Blanks. Billy Blanks is the person who was the founder of Tai Bo. Billy Blanks was a karate champion and a very good one at that. And now he's in California into movies. And he's got success there. So he'll be doing a class on the weekend, maybe Saturday or Sunday, we're not sure yet. So he's going to be teaching, and most likely he's going to be teaching fighting. And this is worth going and attending. Then there's Film One. Film One, this is something very nice. It's called Road to Hollywood. They're big-time producers of movie. And it's Jalal Mehri, who is the owner of the company. He's in the Canadian Black Belt Hall of Fame, and he's a former martial artist. And some of his movies recently were at the Cannes Film Festival. They were at the TIFF Festival in Toronto recently. And they're looking for the next action movie star from the martial arts group. So those of you that are interested in movies, prepare a little skit, a minute and a half, to show like movies style fighting action. You might be picked up to do a movie. That is new. And then we have new jiu-jitsu style people coming in. And there's a 10th-degree black belt who is going into the Canadian Black Belt Hall of Fame. He's from Calgary. His name is Bok Ko. He's excellent in what he does. And he does a lot of internal white crane, special Chinese martial arts. And we also have a different teacher that's coming in, and this is something we've never done before. It's a class on meditation. So somebody asked me that, and I said, well, I can't meditate. My mind is racing all the time because there's always something happening in my world, And they said, because maybe you don't know how to meditate. So there will be a class on meditation for those who want to attend. It's going to be in a quiet room, I hope, and you just sit on the chair and you will learn how to meditate. Plus, of course, there's all the fighting techniques. And because we've been shut down, it doesn't mean that people have not been training. They've been training on Zoom, most of them. But some of them have been developing their martial arts, and they're coming with new things. So at Capital Conquest, for example, bring all your equipment that you have and that you want to learn with. You want to do kickboxing? You got back gloves? Bring your back gloves. Bring your boxing gloves. You have a head guard? Bring that. Those who want to train in weapons, there's bow. There's Boken for Iaido, and we have some unbelievable Iaido teachers. And then there's some Sai, there's Tonfa, there's Kali. Every almost weapons that you train, bring your weapon with you. Now, Scott, I know that you do Iaido, and you've been doing it for quite a while. Here's another private things that's going to happen at Capital Conquest for the senior people. Suino Sensei, who's from Ann Arbor, Michigan, is an excellent Iaido master. He trained in Tokyo, I think, for 5 years or 6 years, something like that. He's excellent, high rank. At some point, we're going to take the experienced Iaido people and have a private instructors class with them. And I'm trying to do the same thing for all the instructors, a special class in karate, a special class in weapons, in kickboxing, not so much in the content of the class, but more in the how to teach it better and how to develop your student better. So I'm working on that. Hopefully we'll have time to put it together and have a special private room for you guys. There's something for the school owners too, how to admin your school a little different way. So there's a lot of different things happening this year that people have not seen. And we're keeping a few secret. So surprises throughout the weekend, you'll say, where do I get that? How does that? So I got to keep some certain surprises for the weekend.
What I like is that what you're talking about, this is going to happen and I'm working on this. And like you started this, what, a year ago, as far as working on this Capital Conquest, and you're still evolving it right down to the final hour.
Yeah, and it's more than a year, because while we were shut down, my job, if you want to, or my contribution to the lockdown was to contact a lot of people, because a lot of people were flat, a lot of people were depressed, a lot of people were losing everything. So my job was to Zoom and chat with them and try to perk them up and everything else. We succeeded with many of them. We lost about 30 schools in the process from around that I know. And now it's time to fill those schools with everybody. You know, if I get a message by Christmas, let's say, and say, you know what, I did what you told me to do. I called my students that I haven't seen for a while, and 4 of them came to Capital Conquest with us for the weekend. We had such a good time. They're back training at the dojo now. And that to me will be a big payday in my heart, that my contribution to martial arts after post-pandemic, that I've succeeded. But doing Capital Conquest, you never stop. It's an ongoing thing. And right now, I tell you, we put in so many hours. It's unbelievable to try to make it as smooth as possible. We try to make it the best for everybody to come in at Capital Conquest, from a raw beginner who's just starting to all the way a 10th degree black belt. They're going to be surprised too. And then you have people in between, and the kids' classes. Oh my God. I've handpicked some of the best instructors for the children. You've got instructors like Bobby Ladouceur, who's 6'5". 6'5". You give him a children's class, they think it's the giant from whatever land, but he's one of the best teachers for kids I've ever seen. Mike Wall from Sweden. This guy, his country calls him when the kids are flat to come to the school and do a class, a martial arts class. He's unbelievable. And then you have Sandra Lanois, Alain Sailly for the kids, all the best teachers. We don't neglect any math area, but for the kids, we make a special focus to give them more, because they are the stars of Capital Conquest in 20 years from now. They'll be teaching and they'll be part of the show and everything else.
Well, sir, the only thing that I've ever noticed on a Capital Conquest that is bad is when it's over. And then we have to think about it for a whole year. We have to say, I'm not going to see these people again, or I'm not going to be at this event again for a whole year. And so it has been an absolute honor to do these episodes with you and to relive these moments and to touch base with these people right before the event. Thank you for bringing me into Capital Conquest just a little bit sooner.
And remember now, in closing, capitalconquest.org to register. But bring a friend. Call somebody that has not been at the dojo or has never been to Capital Conquest. That's your mission. That will be worth my year or two of hard work to bring it together. And I'm anxious to see you in a few days at Capital Conquest.
Thank you, sir. I'm looking forward to seeing you too. Capital Conquest will be happening November 4th, 5th, and 6th, 2022. For more information, you can go to the website at capitalconquest.org or find us on Facebook at facebook.com/capitalconquestwkf. This has been a Cancel Broadcasting production. We will see you at Capital Conquest.